Welcome to our channel. I am Mama D, also known as Mama Dove 64, and on this part is part 3 of building with steps. Okay, let's go back into our steps again. What is our next steps? Okay, I'll get into teaching you how to put in the ramps. Those are a lot of fun, in my opinion. Okay, now we have all the same type of steps, just more fancier and fancier as you go down, more expensive. So if I already showed you how to do the L steps and the U steps, it is the same exact thing as you go down the steps. Now we get down here and then we finally do find something that's a little different. We are using the plain C steps. Now C steps are classic when you making like an entryway or a grand hall. Those are extremely good for. So let me show you. We're going to take this whole building down because these are a bit bigger. Okay, these are some of my favorite actual steps to use. I don't know why I got addicted to these steps, but I love these steps. You have a left and a right side, so make sure you pick in both if you're going to use both, or if you're going to do a design where you only need one coming down, make sure you pick them out. Now what I do when I use these is I give myself a wall. I turn these into where I want them to sit, and I use my guidelines to guide me into perfect angles. So when you look at the squares on the floor, they give you a way of being able to measure things in a way that should fit when you making your steps. Okay, so we make sure they're even on the same line, and they are. Now I go into wall here, and I go over to the edge of the wall, and I connect them with the wall. Now some people will connect them with one panel and be done. I don't do that. I always go back behind the back here and I connect the second wall here. Yes, it's going to leave an opening in the center, but I can always use that as a little nook, or I can use it as a closet. I can actually add doors in here and use it as an entryway. If you ever go onto my $9.8 million house, this is exactly how I put the steps in on that house, and I used the doors as an entryway, and it gave it a very elegant feel. Now we come up to the next level. So we're going to pretend like we got a second floor up here, okay? Once we get to our second floor, we want to go into floor. We want to make sure that as we build this layer of floor, that the people's heads are not getting smashed up. So we come up, we fill in. So we put a landing here. So there's a landing strip there. Now, if we were building going backwards, which most of the time we are, I come right here to the side of the steps and I give myself a landing. Now that landing there will ensure that the people have somewhere to actually step once they come off the steps. Now, if you're leaving your steps open for people to be able to get through, say I don't want to put anything else in front of it, then I just leave it open just like it is right there. Now you can always add a rail to the top to give it a crisp filling. Pick whatever is your flavor and you bring it up to the top and you can close it off. Or if you wanted to do more spectacular art and design, you can always use something to design in the front. Say if I wanted to use fence or whatnot, I can use fence up here and design it from here. I can use this space here and leave it open. There is literally so much you can actually do with this kind of stuff. So just be creative. use your imagination, and this is just a while out showing you how you can use it. You can do all kind of creative stuff with it, okay? Now, if we were still fixing the steps and we weren't putting anything in front, we would just leave it like it is. So you would pretend like there is a floor here and you have a grand hall or whatnot. So we would fill it in here. And you literally have like a way to make this look like it's a stairwell. Okay, so that is how I use this step. Our next steps, I believe, is a spiral, and I'm right. Spirals, oh my God, y'all. When I first used the spiral, I had no clue what the heck I was doing with the spiral. There is two angles you want to look at, the very top and the very bottom of this staircase. These two angles are very important. So however you want the person to climb up the steps, the bottom of the steps has to be pointed in that angle. So if you want them coming from the side, you want to turn the bottom case until it's facing the side. Now, to make this easier on putting the floor in on the bottom and the top, you want to make sure that these are literally sitting on the point, the arrow point of the square. I don't know if that makes sense, but as the square connect to each other, that makes it sit right at the line where your steps hit straight on the floor. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. We go to floor, go into manual, and then we get our pointer here and our pointer here. So now when we add the floor in, it is sitting crisp straight to the floor. See that? Now, when we go up to the second level, it is still sitting crisply angled straight to the floor. So when you get here, you can put your landing in and it'll actually sit crisp to the floor. Just like that. So when this person come up the steps, they should be able to come straight up the steps from whatever angle you put the steps in and come directly to the floor without getting stuck. Now, when it comes to putting your space in for your head space on these steps, you want to leave enough space to where your person's head is not getting whacked up. So the best way that I learned how to do this is to not even fill in the spot where your spiral steps go. And I'll show you what I mean. Instead of filling in here and all the way around, I pretty much just leave that empty. And I go around here. And that's when advanced placement comes into play. You can go around your steps or whatnot. And you can build however you need to build to encase your steps. Now, when we get to this side, I'm not going nowhere near that actual step because I want that person to be able to get up them steps without getting stuck. Now, let's test it out. Come on, girl. Let's go on in. So we come up here and we go through. We should have no problem. Perfect. So we got all the way up the steps without getting stuck. Has a very unique feature you can do. You can actually stack these steps. How would you be able to stack these steps? Okay, there is a metal rod that sits in the top of these steps. I'm going to put the pointer on there if you can see it. And I'll show you what I mean. This metal piece right here is so you can stack steps together. But the game will not let you just literally place it on top. So here is a hack that you can use to place it. Now, you can put a piece of floor right there. You only need a small piece of floor to be able to fit it there, okay? We go back into our stairs, we find the same steps, or you can use the duplication over here and clone it. We bring it up. Now that piece of floor should sit there where you can be able to use it. And if it don't, just add a little more floor. That piece of floor is not going to stay there. So it's only there just so we can get the step in place, okay? So don't freak out like, oh my gosh, she told me to leave it there. No, we're going to delete it out. But once we get the step in place, okay? Now we go back to our step. We turn our step to where it actually needs to sit. Now, the best way to make your step is to where they connect opening to opening. So we pull this all the way up to where the spines connect. So that should give us a clean, fresh spiral look of the steps. Now, once we got it set there, we go back into the floor, delete the floor out. It should sit in place. Now let's test it out. Now that gives us a one floor step. It looks like it's one staircase. And that is how you apply spiral steps. Spiral steps are exactly perfect for small spaces, small windows. I got a plot coming out soon where I use this staircase as the main staircase to this plot. So once that comes out, I'll make sure I make a note in the video. That's why we use the steps, because it's a very small space. So let's go back into build mode. I hope this helped you. If this helped you in any way, this tutorial, please leave a comment down below and let me know how it helped. If you guys have any questions or any other ideas that you need help with, please leave them in the comment. I do read all comments, okay? And it's very helpful.